watch it spreads. I'm going to start with some 2 3/4 inch birdshot, just standard field loads, and provided it doesn't blow up, work my way up from there to 3-inch and 3.5-inch shells. We're all ready to go here, and I'm going to stand way over there. Right? Okay. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see what happened here. Looks like the shell most definitely did starburst out the end, as expected. Our target here, the wad hole here, and the entire thing is plastered, so that's about a 2-foot spread at 1 meter. So, you know, good home defense gun. All right, let's step it up to something else here. Might be a little difficult getting these out. Yep. There it goes. That wasn't too bad. Next up, we have the 3-inch field loads. Next one's going to be the 3.5 inchers. That's a recipe for disaster right there. And our target has been absolutely shredded here. Get a better look at that. Alright, this is the big head.
These days, you gotta have a job.
Hey, sorry. You positively have to punch a hole, fist-sized hole straight in something. Beautiful. Take a look at the damage.
Weird.
Yep.
I'ma stand my
That's
ground.
not what I'd expect. Once again, spread is actually not as bad as you might think. That is extreme for 1 meter or 1.5 foot spread, but not too bad. All right, well, with that out of the way, I think this is safe to shoot from the hand. We'll see how that goes next. All right, let's see if we can get a reading on the chronograph here. This is just standard 2 3/4 inch field loads. There's a birdshot. I believe it's 7.5. I'm going to shoot it by hand. It's probably going to hurt, but we'll see how it goes, eh? Okay, not too bad, not too bad. I was really hanging on to it for dear life, but not too bad. Let's try the second one. That's 821 feet per second. Not bad for 3 inches. I don't know if that's accurate, to be honest with you. Let's try another one here. 821, or so it's saying. All right, guys, I tell you what, I'm feeling a little brave. Let's try one of the 3-inch Magnum loads, turkey shot. Let's give it a whirl, see what happens. Oh, I love it. $439 on that one. So chronograph not really the most accurate right now. Who knows where that's at? Maybe I'll try it again some other time with a slug, maybe, so there's not as much crap flying around through the air. But alright guys, I think that's going to do it for one day. Oh, one last thing before anybody goes saying, oh man, what a waste of a tax stamp. You just wasted $200 and all that time waiting and whatnot. I got a little surprise for you. I have 2 barrels for it. That one is, I believe, 11 inches and is a more typical sawed-off shotgun. So I get to have both. Alright guys, I tell you what, we're still out here. Might as well put a few more rounds down and see how they show up on the chronograph. This is just back to the 2 3/4. One more time here. 610. 889. It's a little inconsistent there, isn't it? All right. Just bump it up to the 11-inch barrel and see how that registers so we can have sort of a baseline to compare it to. I don't know if the chronograph's just being a little wonky, or maybe it is getting up to those speeds. Who knows? We're going to have a comparison point here, though. $976. 976. 1,019. All right, so maybe those numbers were more accurate than I initially thought. Well, that's a data point. Here's what it is. So to close things up here, what are we on? We all know the shotguns, depending on the choke, will typically only spread a couple inches on defense ranges. But when you go this short, it is genuinely possible to plaster an entire room with just one blast. Now, of course, when you get a spread that large, it's not really likely to be lethal, but I was surprised to see the 2 3/4 inch shells were cranking out at about the same speed as a 45 ACP. Regarding the chronograph, there are a few things to consider. I wasn't using the optional rods and light bar that you often see, as they would have gotten shredded. Strong muzzle flashes are known to throw off readings, and having so many pellets pass over the 2 measuring areas in such a large spread could potentially throw things off as well. So in short, it's really anyone's guess as to whether or not those numbers were accurate. But if we are to assume that they were, why would the 2 3/4 inch shells perform better than the 3-inch shells? Basically, if I had to assume, they have less mass to accelerate and more room to do it in. Maybe someday I'll do a follow-up with mini shells, buckshot, slugs, and anything else of interest, but for now, thanks for watching.
The Macho Gaucho.
Hey all you swingers of the male persuasion, today we're going to demonstrate the notorious Bolo rounds. These requests poured in after we demonstrated Tim Hamilton's dumbbell and barbell slugs.
Wow, that did have a lot of thump.
In my opinion, these 2 rounds rated very high on the badass scale. This one passed sideways through Kevlar body armor. Also made out of machine steel, the dumbbell round had very impressive results. Rather than tumbling through the air, these maintain an efficient aerodynamic profile until it strikes flesh, then it begins tumbling, causing maximum damage. Now let's take a look at the Bolo rounds, or Macho Gaucho. These exotic rounds, complete with their exotic price, are restricted in some parts of the country, oddly not in California. Costing around 4 times the cost of a traditional Foster slug, let's see what makes these so special. Now these use a clear Cheddite hole with a clear overshot card on top to keep everything held inside. Inside we have the projectile itself, righted in the shot cup of an MG42 style wadding, normally used for steel shot. The projectile consists of 2 lead balls connected with a metallic cabling that's easy to pull apart. The lead balls measure roughly ½ inch in diameter, or about 13 millimeters, and when spread apart, the span is about 5 inches, or about 125 millimeters. And there you go, Europe. Now stop blaming me that you were not taught the imperial system. While the weight of the projectile is a hefty 36 grams, the weight of the powder load is rather light, weighing in at only 17 grains. Don't you love all these crazy measurements?
Welcome back, Tauflader Mousers. Hey, today we're out here to try the Macho Gaucho. This is a round from FireQuest that is supposed to be 2 heavy lead balls connected by a piece of cable. So we cut one of them apart to take a look at what's inside before we shoot them. This idea came to us from you guys after we shot Tim's Ballistic Machinist. We shot his dumbbell rounds, and we had a lot of suggestions about shooting a round. It was 2 balls connected by a chain. Well, the chain doesn't exist, but 2 balls connected by a little piece of steel cable. We're going to give them a try and see how they work. Our theory is that 2 balls crammed together with a cable are not going to separate out like they should and go flying down range with a nice stretched out cable in between them, as is shown on the picture. But I think the 2 balls are going to probably stick together and just kind of keep that cable crunched up in there. Well, let's give it a try and see what we can find.
How will they fare on the lead plate? Hit it!
So those things buried themselves into this lead plate, not very deep, but still impacted. And I don't know if you can see on camera there, little tiny steel cable fibers where one ball is stacked on top of the other ball with the cable smashed in between the 2 of them.
Wow. And that's accurate too, you know? That was 20 yards maybe.
20 yards and aiming for that little button.
Oh, look at that. Oh, I thought they would have used a little piece of sticker.
Made a nice little deep hole there. Look at that. And there's the cable all mashed up inside.
Okay, we have a low resolution but very high frame rate of 38,000 frames a second. So we can clearly see that there's absolutely no separation of the 2 balls. They're actually touching when they impact.
What's up, doughboy? Okay, 22 yards.
22 yards, Southside Doughboys.
Hit it.
In the Doughboy's face. Ready?
Yep.
Oh, you can hear that smack.
Yeah.
Here is the projectile as we found it in the Kevlar. Now it's important to note that we were able to just pull these balls apart, so there was no fouling or knotting of the cabling to prevent them from spreading on their own. Now looking at the high-speed footage of this shot, we can see that the balls have spread maybe the thickness of your thumb in this shot. There doesn't seem to be any external force that would actually cause the balls to spread apart. So let's try to influence that a little bit. The way we'll do that is install what's called a rifled choke on the end of the shotgun. This should provide a little bit of spin and centrifugal force.
A rifle choke in there now. We'll see if that has any effect on it. Okay, we're going to find out if these are effective against drone attacks. Oh my.
Nope.
Oh, big splash out there.
Splash out there?
Is that the DJI Maverick?
The Maverick Phantom 1.
It would have severed the wires.
Severed the wires just so we could shut it down. We were just trying to shut it down, not destroy it. Now, one of the balls you can see hit right there. And these are pretty big balls. They're bigger than the double
The
lock
average
buck.
bears.
So you can see that one hit right there and tore the body out of it, and the other barely skimmed that arm right there and ended up tearing the wires out from underneath.
Wow.
So I'd say we effectively brought down this drone.
At 25 yards.
Yeah.
Okay, Doogie Top, here is your review of your drone that you sent me that I couldn't even charge up because you sent a European plug. Thank you. Using the rifle choke had no added effect to this. The balls again had very minimal spread.
Okay, well, decapitate a ballistic gel gummy bear. Hit it.
Something did him.
Wow. See those splashes out there?
Again, the balls are touching, and you have to ask, is that so bad? Well, yeah, because we were promised cheese cutter-like performance, and we expected to slice this gummy bear made out of ballistic gel completely in half, and this thing just behaved like a low-power slug.
20 yards, 18 yards, who knows?
Trisha Takanawa, the vaguely Asian reporter. When you are ready. ready.
I'm ready.
Wow,
Solid.
that was. That must have been both balls.
In the face, I think.
Woo!
That thing was probably worth at least $19.95.
Somebody online will tell us that it was worth $1,000.
Yeah. It was worth
Now-
it though.
She evidently took one of the forehead, one of the balls.
I don't know.
You think? Or did she just shatter?
Every time we predict what happens, we're completely wrong when we show the high-speed footage.
I say, I'm ready for chips. I'm gonna see what the
End of the road, hot shot.
Now, as I often say, slow motion does not lie. Again, the balls had almost no separation, and instead of slicing the doll in half, we just got kind of a mediocre impact with it. Wasn't even that impressive. Now, you gotta look at the bright side. At least these rounds are accurate. It would have really sucked if we missed every shot.
firearms that are aircraft.
Okay, I'm ready.
Here we go. The Macho Gaucho. I don't know. I see one good hole on there. I was aiming at the center of the blue. They obviously tore apart because we've got a blue impact hole here and a yellow one out here. This one kept the cable with it. You can see it did a little whiplash thing in there. So
It cut all the way through it.
cut all the way through. If you come around the backside, get a nice little slash.
Okay.
Now you could also hear, I don't know if you can hear it on camera, but this one hit later than this one too. There was a little bit of a zip sound to it. So the cable slowed it down, I think, a little bit.
This was shot at about 35 yards, and I want to be the first one to say that Greg was wrong. The one with the cable attached actually hit first. And out of the 6 rounds that we fired, this was the only one that had a catastrophic failure. The bolo round definitely has a nasty reputation, but it's got a reputation that it really doesn't deserve. It's a pretty low power round, and it definitely doesn't function like we would expect it to with the cables spreading out. Now, just adding more powder to it to make it more powerful probably would have worked against the design. We saw that one round actually ripped the cable out of one of the balls, so we probably would have seen more of that occurring just from the stress of trying to propel it much faster. Now, ballistic machinists, CNC machined steel slugs are the real deal, and he's actually going to begin selling these pretty soon. And I say that because a lot of people have asked us if Tim sells the rounds that we've tested in some of our videos, and it's kind of gone from a hobby into a potential business for Tim, so that's really good news for him. Now, of course, machining a slug out of steel is a lot more expensive and time consuming than just casting something out of lead, so I'm kind of surprised he's able to price those slugs at such a competitive price. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. We had a lot of fun doing it. Thank you, and bye-bye. Be sure to subscribe so you'll be able to check out the next creative and fun video that we produce. And check out some of our old videos, such as the bulletproof Stretch Armstrong and shooting Lego man heads out of a Glock. Lots of fun stuff, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Thanks. You make it, we shoot it. Chicks really dig my awesome singing abilities. Hi, and welcome to Tal Fledermaus channel. Today we have some awesome slugs made by a guy named Sam Strobel. His channel is called Subconscious Design. I hope you'll check out this video because these are not made like you think they are. Now, these are some of the most ornate, fancy, schmancy slugs that we've ever shot. They look like something out of like one of those weirdo role-playing games, some kind of enchanted crystal thingies, and they are designed to be shot out of a 12-gauge shotgun. Now, Sam did a fantastic job making these things. Not only are they're just works of art, but they're also dimensionally perfect for a shotgun. Even though they're rather long, each one weighs about 1 ounce. He put nails and other things inside there, and it